Assalamu alaikum. Sulman Rahim here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Sisters and brothers, this prophecy Redux, breaking the dumb barrier. As I said in the previous one, what is breaking the dumb barrier? We've been constrained by the analytical mind for the last 400 years. Actually, more than that for the last 35,000 years, but really, specifically, the last 400 years. We're restrained by it. We restrained the analytical mind for 76 trillion years. Now it's loose, it's unbound. Dr. Yaqub unbound the analytical mind. That's what we're dealing with. We've been bound by it. See, the analytical mind thinks in terms of force. See, pressure is force also, but pressure is spatial force. In other words, pressure is spread out. See, force is just a straight line, but pressure is comprehensive. It's like a bullet that would represent force. Okay, straight line. But a bomb would represent pressure because it spreads all the way out. It's still force, but it's a different type of force. It's spread out. So analytical mind thinks in terms of force. See, a spatial mind thinks in terms of pressure. See? But you need both sides because the spatial mind is creative. The analytical mind is technical. So once you say B, you need something to make that B into reality. See? B, and it is. To come up with the idea, somebody has to bring it into reality. See? So we had a battle between the spatial and analytical because initially, right, we're all ambidextrous. We like use both sides. See? But Dr. Shabazz, he says, well, okay. See, by doing that, in other words, if you have so much force, but you got 100 pounds of force, but you got 50 pounds in your right hand, 50 pounds in your left hand, you got 100 pounds of force. But if you put all of it in your right hand, you have 100 pounds of force in your right hand. So you're more powerful with a punch in your right hand, but you don't have a left hand anymore. But you got a much more powerful right hand than you had before. Same thing. So that's what Dr. Shabazz did. He says, okay, we're going to make you twice as creative as you was before, since the beginning. You have two sides of the brain, but the two sides are primarily, right, spatial. Just a little bit of technical, because you have to be about 90% spatial. See? So you got enough technical, so remain so you can communicate with the technical. And Dr. Yaqub did the opposite. He made his creation 90% technical, just a little bit of spatial. See? But then it went too far. You went over to the Mongoloids. I'm not going to go into all of that, right? They're even more technical even than Yaqub's initial creation. See? And more dangerous. That's why I call them death in the Injil. So that's what's happening here. So now the analytical mind is unbound. But remember, it doesn't see this creation we have is a biological creation, it's a spatial creation. So the analytical would be evil to it because it wouldn't understand it. It would mess it up. It's like pickup sticks. You pull the wrong one every time. That's why they keep messing the environment. They mess up everything. They didn't realize. They just realized recently, that's last couple hundred years ago, last couple hundred years, the need for trees that we breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, but the plant life does the opposite. Trees, they breathe in carbon dioxide, and so they're like our lungs. The lungs of the plant, and they was tearing our lungs down. If nobody has restrained them, we wouldn't be able to breathe at all. They didn't know that. You heard about the rainforests? Africa what we currently know Africa and currently call Africa now, and South America, right? What we call South America right now, right? Those were the lungs of the planet. Those were the great rainforests. They were the remember we got two lungs. You know, when you study the Earth, you find out that it duplicates our body because that's where we came from. But so you had two lungs, right? You had one on the east, on in the east and one in the west, and they was replenishing the earth with oxygen so we could breathe. They didn't know that, and they were just tearing them down, making paper, whatever they was doing, and then they realized, hey, wait a minute, hold it, we need that to breathe. That's why I said it makes them evil because they didn't understand the creation, and that's why they bundled it, they messed it up, they hurting the earth. That's why the Quran says they're a burden to the earth. So when I say the dumb barrier, see, they the one have us dumbed down in relation to the creation because they don't understand the creation. They dumb to the creation, and we have to break that dumb barrier because we've been under the control of them. Their whole knowledge set, everything they know, all their knowledge, everything is based on analytical mind. The way they operate, the whole sealed Bible is analytical. That's the guidance they was given because they was made to make commission shed blood. And I'm going to all about energy deprivation. I've talked about that. But it was said they was be given guidance, and that was the guidance that was given the sealed Bible. See, it's all analytical, and we've been bound by that. See, but we got to break that barrier. That's the dumb side. See, because that side is dumb to the creation. That's why I call it burn to earth, make commission shed blood. You know, they hurt things. See, if you put an elephant in a china shop, it's going to hurt things. You can't help it. They hurt things by nature. That's why I said evil by nature, because they hurt things. They can't help it because this creation is not made for them. They're only a temporary inhabitants of it. That's why they need to take and get rid of it and bring in their analytical creation, their cyborg creation, their mechanical creation. Because you see it building this world you see right now is an analytical world. It became out of their minds, but we gave them the creative ability to do it. They need us to do it, the creative power, right? The blueprints. But they chose the ones they wanted, right? Because remember, you get paid, the technician, you give him the blueprints, he uses blueprints he wants to use. So he used the ones that's going to enhance his mechanical world, his analytical world. And those ones he understands anyway, because he understands the other ones anyway. See? So they're trying to bring that in because they know this biological world is against them. See all these plagues and things they're getting? That's the biological world turned against them. That's consequence. And they can't fight against it. They come all these kind of ways, right? But it's getting worse and worse and worse. And they know eventually it's going to wipe them out. So they got to come up with an analytical world where they get rid of all plagues, all that kind of stuff. Get rid of all of it. Or become immune to it because they come mechanical. Plagues, viruses don't hurt steel. Don't hurt iron. So they want to come to this cyborg world. So, as far as prophecy is concerned, see, prophecy is not somebody dreams of, have a vision. That's not prophecy. You wouldn't trust it. How you know? You have visions, haven't you? Have you had dreams? Some come true, some don't. So you couldn't trust that. You can say, well, I had a dream, and the prophet comes and say, well, I had this dream. What the Bible says about a prophet that comes and say he has a dream. It says to kill him. See, that was a hint about MLK. That said, I have a dream. So if the dream prophet comes, you kill him. Because it's not about dreams, it's not about visions. They talk about it like that, but that's not what it's about. See? We have computers, see, that's more powerful, that make these computers they have right now look like a pencil. Look like a pencil. See? That's what it looks like. Make their most powerful computers look like a pencil and a ruler or something along those lines. Because we need that. Because we need to take, and we need that the transit, right? Translate throughout the universe. I'm not going into detail. That's for another presentation. But the universe, all that's where we have constellations and galaxy. We made like that, so we gather all the star stuff together, so we have lanes where we can transit throughout the universe. Safe lanes, because you can't have anything in your way. You can't have it. You can't even have a diamond. You can't have a dime, right? You can't have anything in your way. If you're moving at the speed of thought, 24 billion miles per second, you can't have anything in your way. See, think of it like this here. If you said that a bullet's coming at you at the speed of sound, right? You sitting still, that bullet's coming at you. What's the difference between you sitting still and that bullet coming at you, or the bullet standing still and you come at it at the speed of, see what I'm saying? What's the difference? The impact gonna be the same. So if you have anything out there, they become bullets. Moving at 24 billion miles per second. A bullet hit you at 24 billion miles per second, brother and sister, well, that's a whole different physics I'm not going to go into. But the thing is that you can have anything. So we transfer that. That's why we gather them together, so we have safe lanes. Even when they bought over here, they found out when they crossed the Atlantic, when they came here, and they found America, right? There was sea lanes. They didn't even know currents. I talk about currents. They didn't even know they existed because we put it like that. So in other words, you don't have to do anything. All you got to do is find one of those currents. And you got to do anything. You have the cell, you don't need anything, and just bring you right here. See, so we did that. See, but the other problem is that the stars and things you see out there are not where they are right now. Some of the stars you see from billions of years ago, because it took that long in light to get here. So that star is not there anymore. The star may not even exist now. So how are you going to apply the course when you don't know everything is? See, the Bible tells you that we know every star by name. The Quran tells you we know every atom. That's what it is. You have to calculate. You have to know what everything is at all times in order to calculate a course so you don't run into anything at that speed, 24 billion miles. Even if you speed of light, you still have to have it. That's why it says the heavens have a strong guard, right? That they will never break. That means they can't get out there. Even if they was able to get this vehicle, these wheels that Farad had, they still couldn't get out there. See? Because they got the Van Allen belt they got to deal with, right? And they couldn't get, they probably couldn't get out of the solar system. See? Because they have to know where everything is at that speed. So they have to go slow. So they have to calculate. You understand? And they don't have the ability to do that. Because they have to be able to calculate every atom, know where atom is, where every atom is, and where it's moving, where it's going to, and the consequence of its reaction to others. They have to know that in order to do that. See, you think about it. So you need a powerful computer to do that. But that same computer, by definition, sees time. I mean, but remember, you're seeing where everything is, right? You have to calculate where everything is. So that same computer also used to say what's going to happen in the future. Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing with that. You said where every atom is and where it's going to be, and where it's going to be there. Isn't that calculating the future on that level? So that same computer, right? So we use that same computer, right, to calculate where every atom and everything is going to be 24,000 years in the past, 25,000 years in the past. That's made atoms too. That's including us. And we only do 25,000 years because it takes so much computer power to do that we limit 25,000 years. And then we redo it every 25,000 years. And then we write it down. See? So we're just looking at it and see. Remember, we're not saying these atoms are going to be there because we wrote it down. No, we looked and see where they're going to be. They had a computer find out where they're going to be. Everything's going to be, 1,000 years from now, 2,000 years, 3,000 years, 4,000 years from now, right? Up to 25,000 years, and then we write it down. See? And we give advice to the people how to deal with the situations as they arise and different things like that. So that's prophecy. It's not just doing that, but it's also, giving advice to people, telling what to do. This is about to happen. This is about to happen. Whatever, right? And also to change things because okay, you say, look, oh man, there's going to be an asteroid coming towards the Earth in 3,000 years. So they tell the people, so okay, what you need to do. So they know the people's going to do this, right? And so that's part of the prophecy that with their consequence of them reading that and taking action and getting rid of that, right? That's still a continuation of the prophecy because that's all factored in. That's what prophecy is. See, it's not predetermination. In other words, we're controlled by prophecy. No, we control the prophecy because we say and look and see events and we say, okay, do we need changes to this event? We look ahead and see this event's going to happen. What do we need to do? Do we need to change it? We need to let it go? How we need to adjust, whatever. But that's factored into prophecy because all that's factored in then with the consequence of our actions and then so forth. All that's factored is powerful. And that's prophecy. And they can't do that. They can't come in close to it. Because first of all, they have to find wherever atom is on the universe right now. I mean, how long would it take them? Take billions of years just to figure out where the stars. By that time, the stars are moving and everything. There's no way they could ever possibly do it. Even if they got hold of the computer, they would have to have a base to work with. They don't have unless we gave them that. We sure would give them that. And that those computers exist. They're off planet. A lot of stuff we have. Everything that we need, brothers and sisters, off planet. We moved it off planet, right? Put strong guards around so they couldn't get to it. You think Farad took and well, I'm not going to go into that. You understand? But the thing is that that's what prophecy is. It's not somebody having a vision because you couldn't trust it. See? So we're going to understand that. We're going to go into that a little more into more depth. But another thing about prophecy is this. Okay, they wrote prophecy. The prophecy we deal with right now was written 16,000 years ago. See, these people tell you, oh man, well, the Quran's a final book and all this kind of stuff. You know, it's nonsense because we have to prophecy was written 25,000 years ago for that period. We have to prophecy for that. They're all going. Those books are going around anymore. Their books came from God. That's where you look at it. Scientists they're not around anymore. They're irrelevant. The Quran has some relevance, but it's not relevant as far as prophecy is concerned because it doesn't give detailed prophecies. It doesn't give you detailed prophecies about what's going on. If it does, how come as soon as you get caught off guard with everything like everybody else, how come they get their butt kicked? It doesn't give you detailed prophecies. It gives you prophecies, general prophecies, but the angel gives you detailed prophecies because it's the book for this time. But see, this is the dumb barrier again. Now, the things that we see in the New Testament, so-called New Testament, or even Old Testament, was written 16,000 years ago before those things even happened. Before those things even happened. So, if you was an ignorant person and you read about Exodus 1,000 years after it was written, then you would think it already happened in the past because it's written like that. It's written like it's already happened in the past. Wouldn't you think it happened in the past already? That's where it's written. That's where it's written. But it hasn't happened in the past because you're in the dumb barrier, so you think that those things already occurred because you read them at that point in time. See? And that's part of what's going on now because they're telling you that Exodus and stuff is in the past while yet it's future, what's happening right now. Because the books was written before all this stuff happened. So you think because the books was written, it says you reading this stuff is history. It's not history. It's future history. See, so your perspective is all wrong. It's all wrong. Because you think, oh, say you read 2,000 years ago. Say you read it before Dr. Yaqub came along, 6,000 years ago. Then all that stuff you think happened in the past. The story in Adam about in the Quran, you think all that happened in the past. It haven't happened yet. Because you don't understand how prophecy works, how it's written, how all this plays out. So we got to break that dumb barrier. We got to understand what prophecy is. See, it's one of the most powerful forces in the universe. See, because what all it does is just outlines and documents the most powerful force in the world, in the universe, which is consequence. It's just documenting the consequence of actions for the next 25,000 years. That's what it is. Just document action and consequence, action and consequence, action and consequence for the next 25,000 years. For the whole, with the whole universe in mind. See, just think, if they didn't keep track of everything, so say Prophet Jesus 2,000 years ago got a virus, died, wouldn't have changed everything? They had to be aware of all of that. They had to account for everything. No atom could be, like it says, in the Quran, both Bible and tell you, it says, he knows, we know, even no leaf falls without us knowledge. Not a leaf falls without our knowledge. Not a leaf falls to the ground without our knowledge. That's telling you. See, our computers, everything. I mean, everything is, is accounted for. So we understand that. So we're going to talk about a little more about this project Redux. I think I may have not been as clear as I wanted to be in the previous one. So it's Prophecy Redux. Okay. Hold on, brother and sister. Let me, one quick break here. Okay, there's a couple of things, and then we'll get into the topic. Breaking the dumb barrier, that analytical mind barrier that's been holding us back for the last 40 years, 500 years, 600 years, 35,000 years. Things enough. See, bam, we got to break that barrier. See, because the analytical mind's got us captive. Break that barrier. See, separate from it. Okay, Injil, Destruct. Now, what am I talking about here? What we're going to talk about is the destruction of the angel, because it's the book for this time. See, it's the prophecy of this time. In detail, every book has time. The Quran has time 1,400 years ago. It had 1,000-year reign. It hasn't had a victory in 500 years because it's irrelevant. Like let's tell us Christianity is 5 years. You say, why is Christianity 5 years old? Didn't Jesus come 2,000 years ago? Because what they tell you is that's that mathematical Christianity, because they turned to mathematics. They blended mathematics with the so-called New Testament, with the sealed Bible. And so it's mathematics been ruling the world. That's Adam. That's the Adam of the Quran. See? That's the Adam, 500 years ago. See? And so they was taught the sealed Bible, right? And the mathematics that they have right now is actually coming out of the sealed Bible. Every action has an opposite equal reaction, right? You reap what you sow, it's the same thing. So the thing is, They have realized that they're out of sync with our reality, out of sync with our creation. So the only thing they have is, the only choice they have is just lay down and die, or destroy this biological creation. See? They're able to get that much from the so-called New Testament and their experience in this creation. Since they learned as mathematics to start learning about it, they found they at odds with it, out of sync with it. There are all these plagues. They had bubonic plague, right? The Black Death, and all these different plagues they had, right? And smallpox, all these different plagues, right? Because they brought this in the world. There wasn't plagues before them. There's no evidence of plagues before them. All these diseases, syphilis, gonorrhea, right? AIDS, all this came from them. Their love of animals and everything else. So they brought disease and stuff in the world. When they're gone, all that will go with them. There was no disease or things like that before them. See, and now they got so they went so far out. Let's see, it's not so bad that the creation is producing is fighting back against them. That's following the law of consequence. Not so bad that that's happening, but they're actually creating plagues now, creating them. So their choice is either lay down and die, or get rid of this biological creation and bring in the mechanical one. See, that's analytical mind can handle. See, and then they can achieve foresight with their computers because now they automate everything. Put chips in everybody's body. That's what they're going to put chips in you, so they can monitor everything. And by that, they can start using their computers to calculate future events on a small scale, on an earthly scale. Still can't do it for the universe, but that give for something they didn't have before, because they don't have biological foresight. See, so they try to achieve analytical foresight. That's why you have these CIA, NSA, all this stuff, right? They call it intelligence, trying to figure out what's going to happen before it happens, and they're very bad at it. That's why they start watching what you do and monitoring everything you're doing, checking your cell phone, putting chips in you, all that kind of stuff, right? So you can get better and better at it, and trying to figure out what people are going to do before they do it. They're trying to achieve foresight, but we have it naturally, but they took it from us. See, if you're at war, right? If you're at war, if you deaf, if you're blind and you're at war with people that have sight, if you have to capture them, the first thing you do is you want to pluck at their eyes, or you want to take them, blindfold them, because that's their advantage. That's what they did to us. And so we have to get back to that again. And we have to break that dumb barrier. See, because the scripture, the Injil, right? See, the scripture, the five mathematical principles, Islam, those things, right? Return your foresight back to you. The Injil itself is like eyeglasses for the mind, because you cannot see the future for your eyes. See, you have to see it with your mind. See, and so the Injil is telling you the future. So it's like eyeglasses for the mind. And that's why I don't want you anywhere near it. See, but Farrakhan don't want you anywhere near. He doesn't know it anyway. So understand that, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. Now we're going to read this. Therefore be on alert, for you do not know which day your Lord is coming. But be sure of this, but be sure of this, but be sure of this, that if the head of the house had known at what hour, at what time of the night the thief was coming, he would have been on the alert and would not have allowed his house to be broken into. For this reason, you must be ready as well, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour when you do not think he will. See, we have to keep them ignorant That's why I gave them a sealed Bible. We have to keep them ignorant to prophecy. Because if they have a thorough knowledge of prophecy, they can change prophecy. We're going to talk about that. That's what it's saying here. See, because this already been prophesied. Sign look ahead and so what's going to happen. And if they could see it for themselves, they would stop it because this is against them. That's what it's saying here. So prophets, some prophets have the ability, right? They give the knowledge. They've given books about the future. I mean, Prophet Muhammad was given knowledge about the Quran, but he wasn't given an understanding of prophecy. See, so a prophet comes like says Suleiman. Not only would he have the book, right, but he can figure out how it works. See, so in other words, you get a book like Prophet Jesus, for instance. He got the Injil, but he got the seal. He didn't understand. He couldn't break the seals. You know what I'm saying? So you have it, but you may not know what it means yourself. You said, okay, you given this book and it's about the future, but you don't understand it yourself, but you put it out there because it's for someone else to understand or whatever. That's what Injil was. If the book was given, it's been 2,000 years. It wasn't for them to figure it out. It's because it wasn't to figure until this particular time. So I'm not going to read the second part. Second part just replay the first part. So here again, what we're going to see here is slowly, the analytical mind is bringing this analytical world into existence. At the same time, he's destroying our world, biological world. It's his plague that we're dealing with right now all over the world. He destroyed our biological world. See? Because now they got all these atomic weapons. Why they got so many nuclear weapons? They got enough nuclear weapons to destroy the person Earth 1,000 times. Why you need that much? If you got a machine gun to kill it, why you need 1,000 machine guns? I mean, what's the point? And one to do the job. Because they don't need that many. So yes, so why? I mean, they acknowledge they have enough. They have way more than enough. And they know some at points in time it's going to be used because right now they're pushing the world into nuclear war. Everybody can see a nuclear war is on the way. They're admitting it themselves. It's like they want it. Why? Shouldn't they get away from that? I mean, why would he even build something like that? That's dangerous. That could blow up the whole world. So I'm going to build a nuclear bomb that blow up the whole world, right? I'm in the world. See? You would think if they was going to build something like that, they would prevent anyone else from having it. So it never couldn't prevent a war. They know they want this war. You don't understand it, bro. It's just they want this war. See? Because once this picture comes into focus, they achieve their cyborg body that's immune to the biological forces of this world. Then you get rid of this world, this biological world. Because they can exist without it. And they don't have to worry about God anymore because they know God is a man. They know that. You don't know it. They know it is. So they get rid of all the biological life other than themselves. And they make sure you don't have any part of this. You think Oprah is going to be able to buy? No, they'll make sure no original people have no chance of resurging any kind of way. So you're not going to let you have a body like that. See? That's a biological brain and a mechanical body. It's a cyborg. Electronic. I'm not going into all the details. See, this is the world that we bring it in. They're trying to prevent. Because this world, they have no place in it. You read the scripture. They have no place in this world at all. So what would you do? And we have no place in the world they're trying to come in. The world they're trying to bring in, we have no place in it whatsoever. And where we bring in, they have no place in it whatsoever. That's the vision, brothers and sisters. That's the conflict. That's the nature of what we're talking about. That's what all this is all about. That's what it boils down to. So you listen to Farrakhan's lies. He said, you want to still be able, listen to all this. That's what it boils to. There's two visions. You're either one vision or the other. He's with the devil's vision. It's one vision or the other. They have no place in our vision, and we have no place in their vision. Their vision is total destruction, right? And bringing in a new world, make all things new. And our vision is to rejuvenate our creation and make all things new. And there's no place for them in it. And there's no place for us in their vision. And that's what we're up against, right, brothers and sisters. And you think that you're going to be part of this? No. You're going to be in the ashes. They already got your mind. You playing with video games, you watching sports games, you on TV, all that kind of stuff, right? You're already in it. And your children, they're lost. Because ask your children, right? That cyborg, would they want to have a body like that? Ask them. You might be surprised at the answer. See? You already sold your children on it. You know your children have no part in it. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's move on. This one I'm going to show. See the white arrow? That's prophecy. They determine, cause at the beginning, the effect. That's the result for the next 25,000 years. That's the direction the prophecy is going. Very detailed, right? Each one of those dots, right? It's a book. Book. For each situation, right? So the Quran is in there, then the Injil, no. For every time situation, you have to get a book for that particular situation. Move all the way down 25,000 years through history. So if you know exactly what's supposed to happen, exactly in detail, and you can change it, then you go that red line. You change the prophecy. See? And all those books that turn red because they don't exist anymore. They valueless. They have no impact because you're talking about a whole different situation. So what you've done, you killed the prophecy. All the books after that, they're meaningless because you went a different direction. So you blind yourself. Because remember, this is like our eyeglasses, right? For our mind. So in other words, you took your glasses off. So now you can't see. So no private messenger would do that. But that's why private messengers are limited because they don't give that kind of detail because they don't have the power to do that. Anyone who knows the prophecy thoroughly, know exactly what's going to happen, had the power to change it. Once changed, everything changed afterwards. So all the books and everything that was written, they have no value anymore. You killed them. That's what's going on here, brothers and sisters. See? It says the only one that was able to do that was Suleiman. That's why our book was sealed. Because he would know the prophet so thoroughly that if he can say, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen, I'm not going to do, for instance, I want you to, this was one thing Suleiman supposed to do. He said, well, I'm not going to do that thing. That's what the prophecy says. So therefore, he changed everything. But he also blinds himself in the process. Because then the rest of the book, right, will be irrelevant. Because it's not going to happen that way. Because the consequence, you put a new action there, so now you got a different consequence. Remember, it's all about action and consequence. So every action was determined, every consequence was determined for every action all the way down the line. But now you put a different action in other than what was predicted. So now you got different consequences. So now you're going in a different direction. So that means everything that was written is gone, is irrelevant. Unless you have ability to write prophecy again, then everything from that point on, right, you're blind. No one would do that to themselves unless they had a very good reason. I said, Suleiman had the power to do that. Well, that's why the Injil was sealed. And by him having the power to do that, that means he could give others the power to do that. He won't do that. He won't give you that kind of detail. That's why it says, if the master of the house knew the hour his house would be broken into, he would prevent it. So Suleiman ain't going to tell him that. Not where he can prevent it. Tell him enough, he can. You got to give enough. The whole point of the prophecy is to tell the way, give people eyesight. Give people mind sight, perception, right? But you want to give them the power to change the prophecy. So when you tell the people, you still can't be precise enough where they can say, okay, bam, ooh, I turned the key. I just killed the angel. I just killed it. And now that I killed the angel, I killed all the prophecy for the next 9,000 years. Because all those books are written already. This had to be revealed in the time that they're required. Because the angel will not be, angel, once we get back to home, angel will be irrelevant anymore. It won't be needed anymore. We'll need it for. Because it's only telling about how, it only brings you to the point of getting home. It doesn't tell you about anything after that. Farad obviously has the book, right, for the hereafter. The bill, he obviously had the book, right? He got the vehicles and everything. He has the book because he's the one, right? He's the God. See? So he knows, remember, his father got all these books from the scientists. So the scientists, the contrary scientists are here. They just keep, how many talk about that? They just keep away from you because they don't rebel with you because they know how ignorant, dumb we are. Right? So the books are there. It's like Angel Gabriel, right? He gave the book to, revealed the book to Prophet Muhammad. See? So nobody wants that because all those books would be irrelevant. So we can't give the devils that power to do that. And that's what they want. They're trying to do. That's what they call Injil Distruct. Because they're attacking. See, there's two ways to go after this. You attack, remember, because that's the sword. The prophet is the sword. But you got somebody who wield the sword. So either destroy this person that's wielding the sword or the sword itself. They've already tried to kill me. See, I don't think they're going to try that again. Because I am protected, whether you understand or not. As it says in scripture, right? When Jesus was in the desert, right? He told Satan, I call him, my father would send 12,000 angels, right? The ground talked about that in an instant. So Satan didn't mess with him. Satan was allowed to hurt him. Remember the story of Job? He was allowed to hurt him, but allowed not to kill him. That's part of the prophecy itself. So he would suffer everything to try to break him. See? But see, when you do that, so you get upset, oh, man, I went through all this pain. But see, if you're a prize fighter, right, you want to go to the point where they try to break you. Because that means they make you as hard as you can possibly be. So when you get in that room, you kick ass. But you don't want that pain. But when you get that ring, if you don't take that pain before you get in the ring, when you get in the ring, you don't get your ass kicked. That's why Suleiman was made so hard, because we're getting ready to go to war against the whole entire world. And no prophet has ever had that mission. No prophet or messenger ever had that mission. Elijah Muhammad had to go up against the greatest beast on ever. But he didn't have the mission to go against the whole entire world. So he had to be tested and made hard and made to suffer everything, because that's the job, that's the battle we got ahead of us, to make sure he was ready and able for that battle, so he can prepare you for the battle. Because you can't prepare somebody unless you're strong yourself. You have to go through it yourself. You have to be hard yourself to make everybody else like knives sharpen knives and men sharpen men. See, so he had to be tested in every kind of way. So therefore, to know that he would not buckle or break under pressure like Lion Farrakhan did as soon as Mestre was taken away. He collapsed, crumbled, because he's a coward and weak. That's why it says Suleiman pleased the Lord, right, to hurt him, to suffer him, to afflict him, because he was making him hard. See, immune to any conflict. See, so when he goes up against the world, they go against a God, not a prophet. See, because we're all gods. So understand this, what's going on here. That's an Injil Distruct. So they're trying to figure out what exactly the hour is, what exactly what's going to happen, because they studied this. Remember Herod in the Bible? He studied, so he knew Jesus was going to be born. So he tried to kill him. He tried to change history. Tried to kill him as an infant. Same thing, right? Pharaoh tried to kill Moses as an infant because he changed prophecy. Like I said, they tried to kill Jesus, Suleiman, tried to kill Moses, Elijah, but anybody trying to kill Aaron, why is that? Think about that one. Why ain't trying to kill him? So that's the situation, brothers and sisters. See, they're trying to destroy it. And they want to know exactly. As I said, they knew. And they were hoping I would tell them something that will tell exactly time. That's why it says, no one knows the actual day and time, right? Except only the Father, talking about fraud. See? So I can get very close. I get close enough to make changes on my own. But I can't get enough close enough to say exactly. And the reason why that knowledge is hidden from me, because I'm here on the ground, and if these fools thought I had it, they'd have me down in Gitmo somewhere, trying to get it. See, that's how powerful this is. That's why we got to break the down barrier. You understand what prophecy is. That's why I keep me away from it. Look at Exodus. So our minds. They dumb our minds down. See, Exodus right there tells you everything you need to know. It's enough right there. You would not be deceived if you fought Exodus. You would not be deceived by any of this. But they don't. Why are you not? Why are you not looking at it? Oh, it's corrupt. It says Allah will perfect His light. It says they would try to put the light of Allah with their mouths, but He perfects His light. What's the light of Allah? Prophecy. That's His light. So He tried to put it out with their mouths. He said perfect. That means if He's perfect, that means it's not corrupt. You call Allah a liar? That means it's not corrupt. I mean, yeah, you got corrupt translations out there, but the actual transliteration and everything, that's not corrupt. We don't go out to them and say, no, we tell you right now, we believe in the Bible 100%. No exceptions. But they tell, oh, it's corrupt. Elijah Muhammad never said it was corrupt. He said the translations were problematic. See, they lied their ass off. You understand? So it's not corrupt. But they want you to think it is. See, because they try to put the light of Allah with their mouths. See, they're trying to get you just corrupt the truth. They're trying to attack prophecy, not just the Injil, but all prophets altogether. See? To get you, keep you blind, perceptually blind, until it's too late. So they bring in their kingdom. That's prophecy, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's move on. Take a short break here again. Okay, we're going to go over this. Like I said, at this point in time, right, I can say these, what I'm saying right now, making it clear. And notice, brothers and sisters, when you look at this, don't let anybody deceive you. I'm not changing anything. Everything I'm showing you right now has always been out there. It's just, maybe you haven't come across it, you haven't studied it. That's why I encourage you to study. and keep your mouth closed. I mean, yeah, we got to talk to people, right? But if you discover something, right, be careful. But the point is that I'm not changing anything here. I'm not changing anything at all here. I'm just saying, right? If you file, go back and look at my all years, right? This pattern remains the same, no change whatsoever, right? I'm just giving more information about it because it's a key. I'm just opening another door. We use the same key, open another door. So I'm just opening another door here. But not changing anything. So we're going to talk about this. We'll walk through it quickly because, like I said, it's a redux of what I did before. But I know people saying that they had no problems with it, but there's some people say they had sound problems. So, and a few things I didn't really explain in detail much as I thought I should have, so I'm doing it. So we're talking about the sixth seal here. Now, if you study the sixth seal, you notice that the fifth seal was, he didn't hear anything. That's the silence they talked about for half an hour. And whenever you open up the seal, the seventh occurs silence in heaven half an hour. He's talking about the seventh seal. But the silence is referring between the fifth and the sixth seal. So it's something happened before the sixth seal. That's where silence occurs in the fifth. So it's silence between the two. So therefore, that's where silence occurs. Because he read it, he hears something every seal, but in the fifth seal he hears nothing. That's a silence. For half an hour, that's an hour is a year, so half an hour is six months. So it'll be silence, right? Now, from when? Well, I'm not going to go into detail, but when I talk about chapter 11, go back to my lectures about chapter 11, right? Chapter 11 reveals that November, right? This was after 2 years after, right? 2 years after Mr. Trump broke the JCPO agreement, right? Which he broke in 2018 around November, because we talk about about around November, right? Okay, so he broke that agreement, and said it'd be 2 years. And we studied that they would move up. In other words, the wind stopped blowing, right? Talking about the witnesses, talking about Iran and Syria, right? They're preparing for war for 2 years. Now put you at November 2020, right? See? Okay. So that's the starting point. We also get another way, because it says at that point, that's when the sixth trumpet blows. Sixth trumpet holds back the first four, and it says they were prepared for a year, month, day, and hour. Okay, so that's again angel's language, right? A year, the only time a year is mentioned in the angel is in chapter 20. And the only time month, day, and hour mentioned, that sequence, that together, right, is in chapter 11. So that gives you November 2020. Another way, so a couple other ways to come at it. I'm just trying to show you that's the starting point. So it'd be a silence for 6 months from there, and then a war would take place. So 6 months from there will put you at May 2021, because it'd be a silence for half an hour. Okay. So here we see, it says, and that's the sixth seal now. And we open the sixth seal, and shaking occurs. So it'd be 6 months before this happened. Shaking means war. See, the bad translations say earthquake, because they say shaking, it must mean, earthquake shakes, right? But so that's wrong. War. So it says right there, so after 6 months, a war occurred. What's that sixth seal? And so far, that's what happened, right? And we see the position we are right here, right, where Iran, right, moves up, America, Britain, and false Israel still in control of the Middle East. But now Iran, Syria is moving up, right? So they're moving up, they're putting pressure on them. They're getting ready to go to war, okay? Then it says, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon whole became as blood. Now, I'm not going to detail about that, but if sun become black, that means now it's down there on the black horse there, and that represents NOI. So if the sun goes there, I'm reluctant to talk too much about that because that's about to happen. There's trouble over the NOI, and it's about the Ancient of Days. Read about the Ancient of Days. Thrones are cast down. That means demons and Farrakhan is cast down, and the Ancient of Days is set. That means Suleiman sets, take control. I'm not going to say too much more about that, but you're going to see it in a few more days. That's what it means. So, but this happens as the moon whole and sackcloth hair. Sackcloth hair is Syria and Iran. That's the two witnesses. And the moon, where it says soon is, that's the moon, right? I put soon is in there, left it there like that. But anyway, so what it's telling you, The blood where you see Musume, that's the sixth trumpet. So he's holding back the first four, which are the four stars right there, the four winds. He's holding them back, right? And remember, they will be released in the year, month, day, and hour, right? That would be November. I just mentioned it, November, right? 2020. But it says they were held back because he was holding them back, right? For 6 months. Okay? So that's the situation we are right now. See? So they've been held back, right? The sixth one he's blown, he's holding back the four winds, right? Or the four stars. Okay? So we see this right here, right? This is what it's talking about. So during this period of time, right? This is about to happen, right? Because the fulfillment of this period of time, right? That's the fulfillment of it. During this period of time, this is supposed to happen. Okay? During this 6 month law. Okay? During the 6 month law. So we know. So May is the month. That's the last month of the law. No, we're still in May, right? Then another war. See, they thought that their first war was the war with Iran. It's two wars. See, shaken, great wind being shaken, another war. This is the war where Iran, where Farad and his angels go to war with the dragon and his angels. That's the war. See? That's the war. So first you had the first war that happened. Then you got that period of time, right? Let's talk about that period of time. I think I kind of misspoke on that a little bit. You got this period of time right here. Once the war starts, the war started and they claim it's over, whatever. And then that would happen. Right? That would happen. See, Ancient of Days just set, and the four winds about to blow. See, because he's holding the sixth trumpet where it says blood there, or where Sunnis are, he's holding it back. He's holding it back. They get ready to blow. Okay? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So then, and that's what it's talked about, because the fig tree is false Israel, and the fig leaves are American Britain. So now they're unright because they planned to do something. It's telling they planned to do something before they was able to do it. Farad went to action to stop them doing it, prevent them from doing it, preempt them, because they was unripe figs. They wasn't ready to do what they planned to do. What is it they got on? What are they doing? What's their plan? What's going on right now? What's all this going on now? Let's take these shots. What's going on? See, what's going on right now? Well, they got something going. Before they complete that plan, right? Fraud goes in action. Because it says that's when the war takes place, right? And when the war takes place, then it says the stars fell into heaven. That's why I left the stars, because that's what some of those stars also called the four winds. Now the fig trees fall. See? Now, what's that all about? Now look here, look at this carefully now. See a demon there? Those are Christian blacks. They're demons. That's Master's children. See? And the black horse there, that's the NOI. See? The seed of Abraham, that's the top of the elect. They can't get to them. They think they can. They don't know they are. They're hidden. So, but that's also a tree of knowledge of good and evil. Knowledge of good, NOI, knowledge of evil, Christianity. Adam and Eve, that's American Britain. They was told not to eat of that tree. When you eat something, you consume it. You take it out of existence. Told them, don't eat it. Because if you do it, that day you will die. But the serpent told him, says, no, if you eat that tree, you live forever. Am I back to the thing I was telling before? They get rid of us, they can live forever because they bring in their new world, the mechanical world, and they're contemplating it. But certain they was contemplating doing it, right? See, Eve, she was definitely thinking about it, but she was kind of nervous about it until Satan told her, serpent told her, no, gave her confidence to do it, right? So this is what it's saying. They make their move to do it. They're going to attack us, all blacks. Get rid of them. See, that's what it's all about. Adam and Eve story. Bam, they go to attack, consuming, get rid of us. See, and that's when Suleiman calls on. Remember I said he called on his father, 12,000 angels. Well, anyway, he calls them to blow those. That's what stars also the four winds. Blow, let those four winds blow. Attack American Britain. Stop them from what they're about to do. That's what it's talking about here. That second war. That's what's about to take place. We ain't talking about years, we're talking about not even months anymore. Because all this is going to happen this year. That's what I said last year. Will happen this year. Because you also got a demon plague that's 5 months plague. So we got too much left for that, do we? See? That's what it's talking about here, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand this. See? And they want to know the precise time. See, so they can do something different and just, blow up the whole Injil, so they blind us. See? And so we don't know what course of action, especially blind me. See? Because I'm providing the light. See, I'm the one opening it, breaking the seals, providing the light for us to get through this darkness. So you got either just attack the angel destruct, or blind me. But by attacking that, they will blind me. Not totally, because I still got the knowledge of pressure, the ability to prophesy is based on that. But it's not in the detail that angel. It's not. See? Because we're all in this condition, so none of us had that ability to look totally clearly instead. But still, no, we're still not computers either. Only the computers can do what the angel's doing. No person could, no brain, right, could calculate 25,000 years in the future, right? A whole bunch of brains couldn't calculate 25,000 years precisely. So Elijah Muhammad taught that way. Why? Because there wasn't any computers around when he was teaching. When he was teaching, so there wasn't any computers around. So the way he taught it was based on knowledge people had at that time. But you got to understand the scriptures. And just a little segue here. When you study, you got to understand the lesson. When you study the lessons, it tells you. It says that there was atom was split into 6 million parts. One atom was someone cracked the atom, split into 6 million parts. And it says the asked question was how much does a cracked atom weigh? Now that right there tells you that those scriptures, the lessons, was prepared by scientists wiser than them. Because first talking about a cracked atom, when they never cracked the atom before Farah Muhammad came along. They didn't have any idea of a cracked atom. Go check. Back in the 20s, nobody had no idea of a cracked splitting atom. That concept of splitting atom wasn't even there. You go look at all their movies and all that kind of stuff, right? The most powerful weapon they had back then, you go back to Flash Gordon stuff, was a death ray. Nothing about atomic bombs or anything like that. Nothing, no mention of whatsoever, right? Because they had no idea. But now he's talking about splitting the atom, which right now is the most powerful weapon on the planet, right? Splitting atoms, fusion bombs. Well, actually, fusion bombs are the most powerful. Fission bombs, splitting atoms. Well, you need a fission bomb to ignite a fusion bomb, so we leave it there. But the question is, if you ain't thinking about physics, weight and force is the same thing. It's just how you define force when you talk about gravity. That's all. Weight is just how you reference force in relative gravity. But the force and weight is exactly the same thing. When you walk along the floor, you're putting force on the right, but you're putting your weight on the right, same thing. So you should rephrase the question. How much force does a cracked atom weigh? I mean, how much force does a cracked atom have instead of weight? Same question, just using different terminology. When you put it like that, then you're talking about 6 million photons moving from a point in space that no one can see, small as an atom, at once. 6 photons are the speed of light. That's light, right? Right? The light burns. You ever put a laser on you, or even if sunlight, right? That's coming from the sun. That was burning you from the sun. Those are photons. They burn you. They burn you because they displace electrons. I'm not going into all detail about that, right? That's just physics. I'm not going into that right here. But photons burn you. That's energy. They burn you. That's what you burn. That's what sunlight is. It's coming, right? And it burns you up. It's not flames, it's photons. The more intense, right, the more burn you up. So what's happening? What he's saying is you got all these 6 million photons coming from one point in space you can't even see in an instant, moving at 186,000 miles per second, right? It's like a little sun. That's a nuclear explosion. It's right there in the lessons. Now, Farrakhan didn't know that. That's what I told them. They don't have no idea. They'll scrap the lesson anyway. They don't have no idea what that stuff means. And when they talk about pressure, they talk all about the pressure in there, right? They talk all kinds of lessons about pressure, different ways to look at pressure. But you don't understand it. That's a nuclear blast when they had no idea of nuclear explosion. So don't tell me Master Farrakhan how to know what he's talking about. That shows you right there. He was a nuclear scientist back there, but they even had no idea of nuclear. So that's how you know how he's powering these planes. See, they have no idea how he's powering them. You see, so he's way ahead of them. So that was just a segue. So anyway, so here we go. Nothing changed, brothers and sisters. If you think anything changed, just go back and look at my previous and see if anything changed. Same thing. I'm just giving more detail to it. Because I told you as time get closer, I give more and more detail. But I can't give it ahead of myself. Can't give them enough room so they can hang us with it. They can change the prophecy, take a different direction. See? Because if they knew exactly the time of their destruction, they'll move first. Because remember, the whole idea is to blow up this planet. Bring it by bringing the analytical thing. So if they knew exactly what we was going to make when I move, they'd make their move first. See? That's what's going on. See? So they're not stupid. They still haven't broke the dumb barrier. And I'm trying to get you to break the dumb barrier. See? There's the two stars, the two witnesses. I mean, the first two winds hit them, and they're trying to get rid of us. They're not playing. And Master Muhammad's not playing. I'm not playing. It's a struggle to the death. I don't blame them for wanting to live. I don't blame them for wanting to do it, but not at our expense. See? And we don't want to live with them anyway. And that's not even an option. See, you think it's an option. We live with them. We're gonna clean up shit. We're gonna clean up America. You can't clean up shit. We're gonna live with them in peace and harmony with this Martin Luther King crap. Or we're gonna one day walk together and all that kind of stuff. That's not gonna happen. You can no matter it wouldn't happen under any circumstances. It's got to be this way or that way. There can't be no mud here. See, because right now we're living in mud. They mix the dirt with the dust, with the water. So now we have mud. See? But heat makes the water rise, separated from the dirt. See, Faraz making the water rise, right? See, he's giving Suleiman the power, right, to heat that water up. That's the angel. So the water rise. Once the water rise, right? All the war's gone. Then you got dirt left. No more money anymore. See, we giving life. We're the life. We're the water. We're giving life to America, this whole society. When we're going, it just turns back to dust. That's why America's the most innovative country on the planet, because we're here. We give life to it. That's where they don't want us to go. You say, why? Why we talk separation? They hate us, so why they want to let us go? See, they have to be forced to let us go because that's one of the hidden secrets that we are their wealth. We're the gold and silver. We're their wealth. See, once we're gone, all that creativity, everything is gone with us. All our music, all that stuff goes with us. They won't have none of that left behind. They'll be back in the dust again. And then they're afraid that we use that creativity, turn it back on them. So they got plans to get rid of us, eradicate us. So remain the two winds. Then, see, this is what they was afraid, how to be broken into. See? That's going to happen. That's the harvest, where it says the wheat and the chaff was gathered together, right? And then the wheat and chaff was separated, and chaff was thrown back into the fire. That's what's happening right here. They all come together, but the demons, that's the chaff, will gather them together and throw back in the fire. Fire counters, boys, the time is up. And that's where we are right now. Just put a watch, the wind blowing against, see, you see all the friction going over there right now? That's the wind pushing pressure on this JCPOA. I keep saying, watch it, watch it. Because for them to go back to it, that means Iran, Syria had to be going back under the bomb again, because that's where they were, the JCPOA, under the foot of the nations, as it said in chapter 11. So if they go backwards, that means prophecy got changed. Got changed, and we're blind. And the angel is no good anymore. See? So now that I've said that, they're going to do everything they can to make it go back to JCPOA. That's why I got to be careful what I say, brothers and sisters. See, by me saying that, they say, well, if we get to go back to JCPOA, that's going to change the angel. That's going to change everything afterwards. So you're going to go desperate to put them. You see, they pay attention to this. That's why I'm very careful, but I still got to get information to you. Otherwise, I'm sitting here, I'm just a reporter. I'm just telling you events after, like Farrakhan's doing, after it happened. So I got to be very careful. I got to wait to a certain period of time and say certain things before it's too late, before they have a chance, right, to adjust. And it's impossible for them to make it, to react in a way that's adverse to what we're trying to do. So understand that's why they're desperate to try to get them to go back to JCPOA, because they do that. They can change the prophecy. That means the war will not occur. And this whole thing about the angel is based on this war. You need everything, when you study angel, all things lead up to this war. That's what war, everything leads up to this war, and then the change. That's what the war, everything leads up, read on, leads up to this war. I keep saying it leads up to this war. That's everything will change. That's the crucial point. That's the point to focus on. That's what all that focus on the Middle East right now. The peace plan. See, remember you trying to get a peace plan, all that stuff going? See? Trying to isolate Iran, everything to keep, because they're strong enough to go to war. You don't understand what's going on over there. They're trying to change because now they understand that everything pivots around this process, this war. So they're trying to figure out a way, right, to prevent it. Then that means the prophecy changed. That means now we're blind because we can't depend on the angel now. Because they, well, you don't want a flashlight that you can depend on when it gets really dark. You want something that you can depend on. If you keep seeing it keep flickering, then you have no confidence in it. So if they can change this back, that means, oh, that's not what the angel says. And that means everything else, like you don't have no confidence in it. So now they effectively blinded you. And it made irrelevant anything that follows it. Any prophecy that follows it. See? So I have to be very, I got that balance. What do I say or do I not say? If I don't say, right, they say, well, how come you didn't know about it? They didn't say about that's why it took so long to say something about I talked about COVID before it happened. See, I talked about it in ways that they wouldn't see exactly because they would have been expecting it. Okay. So I'm talking about this war. I've been talking about this war quite a bit, but not kind of like detail I'm talking about right now because they're so close. And then other things, the fate of NOI, all these different things, brothers and sisters. See, so you have to be very careful when you reveal these things because they can use it. That's why I said Injil, Distruct, because we at war and they're at war with us. So you have to time these things just right. That's why you get close. I said, like that's why I said put landmines in there. So it trips them up. So they try to do it, right? Because sometimes things are factored in. See, things are factored in. So in other words, their attempt to change, the scientists saw that, so they factored in. So that's part of the prophecy itself. You see what I'm saying? So they're wiser than them. All this stuff is factored in. So their change may be what brings the prophecy, what causes the prophecy to happen itself. Like the story of Jonah, when you analyze that, that's a good example. You understand? So their attempt to change it is part of the prophecy itself, which actually caused the result that they're trying to stop. The fact they're trying to change it caused it, think about that clearly. Their attempt to change the prophecy is what caused the prophecy to come to pass. So you're wiser than them. So I can't tell you any more about that. See, because I make them too wise. But think about that again. Their attempt to change the prophecy is what makes the prophecy happen. Because that's factored in. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. Okay, wrapping it up. Wrap this up. So I hope you understand, a better understanding about what's going on, how prophecy works. It's much more complicated than I'm saying, but it's complicated enough for you to understand it. Right? That's where we are in time. That's what we're up against. Right? We're not just up against America, we're up against the entire world. See? And so I put out some posts today about how we came over here. It says, came over here for our own good. See, that's prophecy. Came here for our own good. Say, how we get for our own good? Read it. Because it turned us from coal into diamonds. From all that pressure. See? So he's telling you, oh man, you came here because you're sinful. No, it says God for our own good. Think about that one. Okay, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Assalamu alaikum.